Hello guys, ZT99 here and welcome to the official preview of State of Origin Game 2 for 2022. All quiet on the Western Front. Bit of a dated reference, but without further ado, let's go into it. What are the Blues doing? Tell me if this sounds familiar for any Blue fans, who grew up during the era of, the Queensland 8-year streak. New South Wales build a team that they think is going to vanquish Queensland. Doesn't happen. And then New South Wales make about 8 or 9 changes for Game 2 and then pray for it to work. It's kind of like what has basically happened with this Blues team at the moment. I mean, obviously, it's there's a little bit of if you do read into it, there's a lot of Panthers and Roosters players. I believe out of 1 to 17, about 10 of them play for either the Roosters or Penrith. I mean, I can understand Penrith because Penrith are the best team in the comp, but the Roosters, yeah, I don't know about that. CSF Talakai has been brought into the team. I think he's alright, but obviously everybody's going to be thinking, oh, he's just a one-game wonder because of that game against Manly where he gave Morgan Harper a hiding. But then ever since, I personally feel like Morgan Harper's had a better form than Talakai. I'll just put that little bit of a hot take. I'll leave it on the table and just keep it there. Just that ain't getting removed. But one inclusion for the Blues team, Matt Burton, I think is very much deserved over the Bulldogs' current run of form. No out Carr still because God's a cruel mistress. But yeah, it definitely feels like with the beefing up of the benches, because Damien Cook is no longer the starting hooker. It's now Apisai Coruscant. I feel like with that, it's kind of a beefing up of the bench for the Blues, because obviously they want to compete with Queensland's bench, which pretty much won them Game 1. It's going to look rather interesting to see what does happen. Queensland have kept very much the same team for Game 2, except with a few interesting inclusions and exclusions. Corey Oates being one of the players not being brought back, which has brought a few fans to saying that he was robbed of his position, but he's being replaced by Cowboys winger Murray Talagi. I mean, the Cowboys are on probably the hottest bit of form at the moment, but then again also Brisbane, so it's a bit of an interesting decision. Reece Walsh has been brought into the squad as well. Feel like that is deserved. Beau Fermor has actually added to the squad. I'd like to see him as the injury replacement for Queensland because Beau Fermor, in my opinion, has been the best player for the Titans. Yes, you could definitely make a case for Fasua Malawi, but Beau Fermor, definitely for me. He's up there just second rower that runs. Like, did you see his try against Cronulla? Like, big boy goes on run. Makes big boy happy. That's just the whole discrepancy of it. Now, going into this game, obviously Queensland have the Game 1 win in Sydney, so Queensland only need to win one more to clinch the series, but the fact it's in Perth, really anything could happen in this game. I wouldn't honestly be surprised if Queensland don't really put their foot down, so they could maybe like the Blues win Game 2 and then they go into Game 3. And, I don't know, then Queensland having to know that the decider is in Brisbane makes it a lot harder for New South Wales. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like this Blues team is just, like, there's really not much that's going to happen. Obviously, Turbo and Latrell not being in the Origin camps for the Blues is obviously critical. But I definitely don't think it's going to come to a point saying, oh, the only reason Queensland won this year is because the Blues had a weaker lineup because they had players out. It's like, Queensland did lose Ruben Cotter because he got injured in the warm-ups for the Cowboys-Manly game, which was actually very unfortunate for him. But I definitely feel like it's just some of the selections have been a bit odd for New South Wales, and it's just Queensland have just got a lot better youth system with like the young players coming in. I mean, Jeremiah Nanai, Selwyn Cobbo, like it's just to name a few. It's actually very scary. But in terms of a prediction, I want to have a little bit of optimism for the Blues being a New South Welshman, even though I mean, honestly, at this point, with the way Origin is, it's basically Queensland versus Sydney. But to be fair, that's probably how it's always been, because it's always when all the Queenslanders like make the New South Wales slander, it's always just slander against Sydney. It's like you don't seem like talk about shit about Newcastle, but I mean Newcastle's in the bin anyways. But in all seriousness, in terms of a prediction, I've got the predictions with my heart and then the bets with my head. But so my heart, I think the Blues can win game 2. Just hoping to see if Queensland don't really put their foot down. And I think probably it'll be another close game. New South Wales by 6. But in terms of the bet I have, and remember kids, steal daddy's credit card and enter a sports bet account. Don't do that. Actually, I don't want to have legal ramifications on me. But the bet I have made for game 2 is New South Wales fans basically just block your ears for a couple of minutes if I can just find it. It's here it is. So my bet is I have got 3 try scorers. I've got Murray Talagi, Matt Burton, Valentine Holmes. Going to be under 38.5 points, and Queensland to win game 2. Ergo Queensland win the series. In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if Queensland do the sweep. You heard it here first, people. Bringing out the you know what? Guarantee Queensland make it a sweep. Anyway, so that is a very short preview for game 2 of Origin. Just no bullshit. Just going in with the hard facts. So, who do you guys think will win? What do you guys think will happen? Will the game 3 be a decider? Will it not? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later.